Hello everybody, we're back with eFootball 2025 and today we're gonna be building a team from scratch, from zero. This is a thing that somebody asked me to make in Spanish, and I did it, and then I realized, well, it's kind of unfair not to give everybody else the same opportunity, so I'm gonna be doing that. And we're gonna jump straight to the building of the team because it's gonna be a series of almost or maybe 1 hour videos, too long for a certain type of people, but the right amount of time for guys really interested in every aspect of the the general building of the team, with everything like positions, SUBTACTIcs, substitutions, abilities, and the last part is going to be the type of player for every type of position with their desirable numbers, stats. So let's jump straight to the thing. This is my basic team, this is my main team and the basic formation I like to use, which is 4-1-3-2. I'm going to show you a bit of examples for other type of formations, especially the one I was using when I started, because it gives you a little bit of flexibility when it comes to midfielders, and you can do very good use of some players that right now are available, like Rabiot or Caicedo. So the first thing is, remember that I build this kind of thing for players trying to improve and fight in the third league, maybe the third division or the second division, and of course this is not for experienced players. I mean, I might end up giving good tips for experienced players, but this is, for people trying to improve, or if you play like me, average, more or less solid third division, and you are aiming for the second division, it is gonna be good for you. So I'm gonna use certain things that make life easier for people who are not using everything. If you don't know how to attack or dribble properly, or maybe you don't have a very tight defense, with these little tips you're gonna be able to bypass a lot of inexperience, lack of experience. Okay, so I place my players when it comes to the defense. Okay, let's start for the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, it's more or less the same. The only difference between a goalkeeper and another goalkeeper is just the stats. So you basically want a guy who is at least 188 height, but everybody says that it's better to have 190 or 195, something like that. Everybody says that Courtois is the best one, and he's 199, so almost 2 meters. Yeah. So a guy above 190 will be okay. And the stats, you basically need every stat above 90. And I'm more or less able to compete with this guy who is 88, 88, 84, which is not good. That's really not good. And but his reflexes and reach are very good. The other thing, and jumping, it's better if you have lots of jumping, and this guy has lots of jumping, so I really like that. I have to remember you that I have a little problem with numbers, so I always try to have I try to avoid odd numbers. That's the thing. So those, for example, 93 and 93 are they make me a little bit crazy, but I couldn't do anything about those. And it's very good to have a lot of reflexes and reach. So a guy better than this guy will be something like, let's jump a little for a second to this team. It will be better than that. Will be something like where is Courtois? No, not Courtois. Oblak. You see, that's more or less okay. But he's 188, so he's right there. 188 is fine with those numbers, but you know, it is better if you have a taller goalkeeper. Okay, so that's everything that you need to know about the goalkeeper. Ah, wait, another thing. If you have, oh my God, if you have a goalkeeper that doesn't have low punt, then the goalkeeper is not good. You need to have low punt. High punt is good. I prefer to have a low punt and high punt. Long throws, I don't really care about that, but it's better if you have it. But low punt, you need the low punt. I'm adding abilities to Courtois. So when I have the moment I get the low punt, I'm gonna start using Courtois as my main goalkeeper. He has not that much catching, but it's fine because he's really tall. Yeah. But I'm adding, you see, I have high punt, long throws. Now I have one touch pass, outside curler. I think outside curler is very good for goalkeepers. We're gonna talk about abilities later. And but I don't have the low punt. So no low punt, the goalkeeper is not good. So now formation, the defense. When it comes to the defense, I think it's better to have a left dominant player on the left side and a right dominant leg player on the right side. So Davis is left dominant leg and Costa Curta is right dominant leg. So perfect. This guy has medium non-dominant leg precision. So he's right dominant leg, so he's properly placed, but I definitely would like to use Saliba on the left side because he has medium non-dominant leg precision. Adams has also the right dominant leg, but I would prefer to have a left dominant leg player here, but I don't have a very good one. I have Vardiol, but Vardiol is not as good as Tony Adams, and Tony Adams has high non-dominant leg precision. So because I have to stick with a righty, I'm going to use Adams on the left side of the center defense. I do have this guy. This guy is kind of slow. He's a right dominant leg. And I have Vardiol. He's a left dominant leg. If I at some point, if I get a very good lefty, I'm gonna replace probably Ruben Diaz, probably, and I'm gonna start using Tony Adams here, Saliba as a replacement, and the good lefty here. So that's for the defense. These two positions, the DMF and the AMF, you can place here like a CMF if you want. But I think this position is good for attacking with some defense. So that's my best option, because it's going to give you a hand when it comes to defense, but you're gonna be able to attack. So yeah, those are the numbers the stats we're gonna be looking for when we talk about stats and abilities and all that kind of stuff. So the ideal for these positions is to have an ambidextrous player. So it's a non-dominant leg precision very high. The thing is, I don't have a very good ambidextrous players right now, so I need to stick with Davids. I mean, the problem is that Davids is too good, so it's better to have Davids with precision high and not ambidextrous. And in the case of Kimmich, he also is high. And the thing is, I have replacements for that position with non-dominant leg precision very high. This guy is ambidextrous. This guy is really, really ambidextrous because he also uses the non-dominant leg regularly. But what is the problem with these two guys? They don't have the kind of defense that Kimmich offers. So I'm supposed to replace Kimmich with Zielinski, but I'm still holding the substitution because I really trust Kimmich. But it would be better to have this guy. Why? Well, the thing is, when you place a guy here like this, you might start dribbling to one side or the other. If you have a guy whose dominant leg is either right or left, it's gonna be always better to start dribbling. For example, Kimmich is right dominant leg, and it's gonna be good to start dribbling to the right, because if you cut to the right, which is like to the Safi Salih side, you're gonna be able to kick the ball with effect, with like the long range curler. And it's always going to be easier for the guy to either kick the ball with effect or cross the ball using his dominant leg, because he's going to be kicking with the right leg to this side, to the Darwin Núñez side, or he's going to use effect to this side. If you go to the left with Kimmich, you will have to shoot with the outside of the foot, which takes precision and takes, diminishes precision and strength to the kick, and that's really bad. So it's not impossible, and you might do a double dribble. You go to the right, then to the left, you do to the left, then to the right. I mean, there's a lot of very specific situations, but the ambidextrous guy is going to give you the chance to go wherever you go. You're going to be more or less able to kick the ball properly and with a higher chance of success. So that's one of the things I find most very important when it comes to these two positions. It's also true that it's better to have ambidextrous players almost everywhere. I mean, not almost everywhere, like everywhere. And it's better to have very, very good and really, really necessary to have ambidextrous players in these two positions. Like, or even if you use just one forward, that forward to be ambidextrous. In this case, Núñez is high, I think, yeah, and this guy is ambidextrous, yeah. And he's truly ambidextrous. I love Safi Salih. I think this is one of the best players for people building free teams. Whoa, man, this guy is, he has been a blessing, a huge blessing. We're going to talk about his numbers later, but just pay attention to this guy. So, but if you ask me where is needed the most, the ambidextrous player is in these two positions. So these guys start reversing or inverting the dominance of the leg. Now, when it comes to the wingers, I want right dominant leg players playing the left side, and so right dominant leg, and left dominant leg players playing the right side, so left. And here is more or less the same, is right on the left, and in this case it doesn't matter because he is truly ambidextrous. So this is why I keep this guy here, because I don't have a guy like Safi Salih, and all my other monster forwards are all they use the right leg. So why is it that I want a left guy here and a right guy here? Because when he cuts to the goal, when he goes this way, he's gonna be able to shoot with effect, and that's very important. It's not that common for Son to cross the field and try to make a play from the right side, making his shot inconvenient. And the same happens with Messi. In the case of Kimmich, it is common for him to go and support players one side, the other side, and that's why it's better for the guy to be also, another reason for the guy to be ambidextrous, like you want the guy to be ambidextrous. The same goes here, so that's the same thing, like this guy is gonna cut to the right, so you want right, and this guy is gonna cut to the left, so you want left. Now, following that rule, I'm gonna give you the substitutions order, and maybe you have your order, your strategy, whatever, but this thing makes everything super simple, and I think you should not play with automatic substitutions. The AI is gonna do whatever she wants, and she doesn't, you have to place like an approximately the time you want to make the change during the second half, or maybe during the first half, and that's really counterproductive. I do not recommend doing that unless you want to like surprise your opponent, because sometimes nobody wants to substitute players, and then you keep playing with tired players, but the other guy went with the automatic substitution, and that's kind of tricky. You have to pay attention, because you're going to see the substitution. If you see the substitution, you can pause and do your own. But sometimes the game starts, you didn't do your substitutions, and the computer starts, and the opponent starts with fresh players. So yeah, you really need to pay attention. Okay, so replacements. We're going to start from the bottom. We have our two defenders. So left foot, right foot. So what is this? Here I place the center backs. So this is very simple. If I don't like how Tony Adams is playing, or I don't like his arrow, I mean, let's say Vardiol came with a complete blue arrow, and Adams is like a green one or horizontally, then probably Vardiol is going to play that game, or at least he's going to start. Either way, I don't substitute my defense, so that's a thing. We're going to talk about that in a jiffy. And the same goes with Ruben Diaz. If Saliba is broken, and Saliba can be tired because he's not an epic player, Adams is epic player, he's never going to be tired, but Saliba might be tired. Then we go with Ruben Diaz. So, position, it's very understandable. In this case, I don't have two fullbacks. Why? Because when you can get yourself an epic, very good fullback like Costa Curta, this is one of the best players in the game, this guy gives you a huge advantage. I think another beast is Maldini, one of those new Maldinis. At least he's ambidextrous, he's better than Costa Curta, so yeah. But that guy, you need to pay for him. And of course, this Costa Curta, you cannot get him anymore, but like it was completely free and unmissable, basically. So almost everybody has this Costa Curta. And if you're a new player, don't worry. You're gonna, at some point, they're gonna keep giving interesting fullbacks. For example, Belletti cannot do the same thing, but he's also epic, and he's even better than Costa Curta. But we're gonna talk about that later. So why Costa Curta is so important? Oh, let me check the time. 20 minutes, go. Okay, we're fine. Why Costa Curta is so good? Because he is ambidextrous and completely ambidextrous. So because of that, he can play both sides with no problem, meaning he's never going to be tired. And let's say normally I was using this guy and another guy substituting Davis. Then I started using Van White, the special Van White with like Showtime, this one here. And he's okay, but I think Davis is much better. And luckily I chose Belletti over Villa because these rats didn't give me another epic player. They just gave me the one I got with the direct contract. That was kind of cheeky, like cheeky bastards. And but luckily I got Belletti. I didn't have any doubts when it came to the picking of the player, because I knew a double impulse new player was going to be better than just a simple forward with. I mean, if you had Messi or Safi or I don't know, one of those good forwards, it was just another forward. But very good defenders are hard to find, and it is the most important thing for the building of a team. You have to build your team from the back. If you can defend yourself, then you can think about attacking and relax and try to, analyze matches, So, Costa Curta, if this guy gets tired, I mean, if this guy comes with a broken arrow, like pointing down, I just switch Costa Curta to this side, and I place in place of Costa Curta Belletti. Belletti is also an epic player, so he's never going to be tired. So I'm sure that I'm never going to be in the need of a fullback, because they are always going to be at least a green arrow. So yeah, so that's another thing. We're going to talk about numbers later, but just in case, Costa Curta, he is very good. I'm going to explain why physical contact 90 and stamina 100 are something that defines how good a player is, and defines a lot of advantages in almost every match. This guy is very powerful, and this guy, if you check that, he's quite there. He's almost there. He's even better. He has less stamina, but his speed and jumping are all better. Yeah, this guy is strong. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm not using another fullback. In the place of the fullback, I'm placing another epic player who's also DMF. Beckenbauer is center back, and he can be used as a center back if you have like let's say Saliba is broken and Ruben Diaz is broken and Guardiol is broken, because it can happen. Then you will be left only with Tony Adams. Then you could use Beckenbauer as a center back, because he is naturally a center back. But in my opinion, he's one of the best DMFs in the game. Lots of jumping, very good defense, physical contact, stamina. The guy is very powerful, and he has good ball control. He has some finishing, good passing. This guy is really strong. So I'm going to use him as a DMF. So I'm never going to be in the need of switching Davis in the beginning of the game, unless Beckenbauer has the arrow pointing up. But if I want to make the change, I can do it with no problem. And when Davids gets tired, which is almost never, I switch him for Beckenbauer with no problem. Either way, as a general rule, I switch every time 5 players, except for Safi Salih, the other 5 players are going to be substituted during the second half, around 60, 65 minutes in the second half. They are all going to be changed, especially Son and Messi, because they are going to be completely wasted. Probably these 4 players are going to be completely wasted. Okay, so like this, we have a very, very good order. Now, these 2 positions, I saved them for the AMF, and they are also, because this is one of the things I tried to explain, and one of the reasons these videos are kind of cool or kind of useful for new players. It is better to have players with lots of positions. That means players who can play in a lot of different places. For example, Bellingham, well, he comes with only AMF and CMF, but I added RMF and LMF, right midfielder, left midfielder. So now he can go during the beginning of the match. I mean, I wouldn't use Bellingham like RMF or LMF. Oh, I will use him as an LMF because of something I'm going to explain later. But he can play this position and this position, you see? So let's do that just for a second. But he can be here, here, and here, and his numbers never go below 99 because he has every position. Same goes with Son, same goes with Kimmich. Oh, Kimmich can play this side too, huh? Oh, nice, very nice, Kimmich. All right, so okay, so it's better to have players with lots of positions, especially because of the SUBTACTIC. So those 2 positions are saved for the AMF, but let's say Son is tired and Okafor is tired, because they are only highlighted players, normal players. I will be able to put Zielinski in Son's position, but also in Messi's position. And Zielinski not only has lots of positions, I added the winger left and right, but he can play both those positions. He has a very good speed, which is very important for a winger, lots of balance, lots of tight possession, so he can do lots of shit. This is why I like this card so much. I recommended this guy like a million times when he was a nomination player, and I don't know. I hope lots of people have this dude because he was super free and super good. He was in the match pass, I think. And I also recommended a million times to get those match passes. Right now you can build an entire midfield and some like DMFs and some defense, I think, with only with match pass players and shit. So yeah, you still have 8 days to do that. So this guy is also able to, he's a right dominant leg, but he's going to be able also to play the right field because he is very high. I mean, I showed you this before, but he is ambidextrous and completely ambidextrous. So that's very important because he gives you a shot at not having a tired player if Son and Okafor or even Messi, or Bellingham are tired. Messi is never going to be tired because he is epic, or at least big time, something like that. But he's going to be tired during the second half. So you need the substitution. In this case, specifically Messi, he's not going to have a problem because the substitution for Messi is Stoichkov. And Stoichkov is epic, so I'm never going to have problems with the right side. So now I have an extra option for Son and Okafor with Zielinski. You only need to be careful, because if one of these players is tired and you need to use Zielinski, you need to remember not to use him in the first half in Kimmich position, because, well, it's gonna be a mistake, and it's gonna be a difficult fuck up to realize, during the second half of the match. Okay, so these are AMFs, both ambidextrous, but you already know the why. The wingers: Okafor, right dominant leg, very physical player, not good with tight possession, and finishing is kind of okay, passing is not really good. I'm looking for something better, but I need something with physicality and good tight possession. This guy it's a monster in the air, so it's going to be very difficult to replace. Plus, I have him completely trained with very top abilities, so yeah, it's a problem. But he's not that good at dribbling, so you're not going to be doing lots of cuts and shit like that. But you start pushing, and he's going to hold the ball, he's going to throw opponents to the ground, and it's very interesting. And this guy is, with Messi, the only two short players in the team. I didn't start with this, but I have to remember you that in order to replace what I lost during 2024, they changed the gameplay, and with that change they kind of ruined the way I was playing. So I had to develop this passing and jumping strategy that is now allowing me to play even better than during 2024. So the only two short players in the team who are not going to be jumping are Stoichkov and Messi. And that's because at some point I like to have a guy who gives me the option of put a very sudden break and change directions and hold the ball a little bit. And that's mainly Messi and Stoichkov, with the problem that he has no balance 90 and no tight possession, not even 80. But he has a very destructive kicking power and finishing, so I'm still using him. At some point I might switch Stoichkov for a player closer to Messi, and I might start using Stoichkov as a AMF. I'm still thinking about it, but he is not ambidextrous, so that's a problem. Or maybe he's gonna be like a striker, but the thing is, I already explained this, but now I'm going to the forwards, and you're gonna understand what's the problem with using Stoichkov as a forward. All my forwards, okay, wait. First, this guy is replacing Nunez, so he's going to be right dominant leg. This guy is gonna be replacing Sally, so he is ambidextrous. And this guy, I cannot replace him yet because I have nothing better, but I need to replace him because he's good, but he has medium non-dominant leg precision, and that's completely unacceptable. If you are pressured and you need to shoot, and you are facing the left side, he's gonna send the ball to the goddamn public, and yeah, it really takes a lot of options and opportunities from you. I don't think that's good. He's a very good player in my opinion. I added every important ability. He's a very strong forward in my teams, but he's not as good as the other monsters because he's 186 and he jumps 90. But dudes, check this out, because here we start with the cookie shit. Oh, I'm using 3 forwards one replacement for Nunez, one replacement for Sally, one extra replacement just in case, because it's better to have forwards with the arrow pointing up. And then we have just one more space, and that space is for the goalkeeper. This way, when you go to substitute players, it's going to be super fast. Like Tony Adams, Bardiol, Saliba, Rubén Díaz, Costa Curta, Belletti, Davis, Belletti, with the switch of, switching places. It's David, Beckenbauer, Kimmich, you choose between one of these guys. Son, Okafor, Messi, Stoichkov, Safi Salih, Patrick Kluivert, and so on, so on, so on. Now, the forwards. So right leg, ambidextrous, whatever. He's also right, he has the right dominant leg, so I wouldn't switch this guy for Safi Salih. But the good thing is, I will never be in the need of replacing Safi Salih for that guy, because whatever happens, Torres and Kluivert are never going to be tired, because they are both epic players. So I place this guy in Safi Salih's position, and Torres, if Levin is down, Torres is going to be replacing Nunez. The thing is, I don't like to replace Nunez with Torres, because this guy has 90 physical contact and 99 jumping, and his numbers are quite good. He has like little stamina. That's not super good, but he has fighting spirit and super substitute, so it's gonna be okay for a second time. And he's basically gonna be playing the second half almost every time, because it's very difficult for Nunez and Kluivert not to have the arrow pointing at least diagonally up. And Kluivert, he is 99 jumping and 95 physical contact, and his numbers are better, even better. So that's the kind of forward I'm going to be using. And Torres is 90, so he's just fine. But Nunez, he's 90 physical contact and 99 jumping. So they are all the same thing, and they are much, much better than Torres. And in this case, he's 168, but he has 92 jumping. So this is one of the reasons why this guy is one of maybe my most important forward, because he has control dribbling, because he's so short. Even having tight possession 78 and 76 in ball control is gonna be okay, because short players need less stats there. And he has lots of physical contact, because I really pushed the boundaries of jumping with this guy. So he's gonna be winning, but he's also gonna be giving me a little bit of Messi. So he's gonna be like a little bit of Messi with a lot of Kluivert. Very important. Now, we talked about the positions. I'm gonna give you a quick run on the idea of this team. You're gonna be winning aerial balls, and you're gonna be able to center the ball with really bad passes, but the idea is to get the ball in the air with a pass to one of the players below, for them to kick the ball to the goal. So if you get to win the aerial fight, you're gonna have a huge advantage. And if you find an opponent with a very tall team, at least you're not going to be raped the way I'm trying to make you rape your opponents. So it's very tricky and cheeky, and like Gollum, like tricksy little hobbitses. So little tricksy pee-pee. Okay, so because of that, we have a guy 185 and jumping 90. This is very important, because I'm gonna explain number and positions later, but just understand by watching the first video that you're gonna have 185, 90. 182, 85 with lots of physical contact and stamina. Those are going to replace 95 stamina and physical contact 80. So this guy is taller, this guy jumps higher, but physical contact and stamina are gonna give the other guy a push. So that's important. 90 jumping with 191. This guy has no jumping, and I don't like that. That's why Saliba is one of the players that in the end I'm gonna try to replace. But the thing is, he's very fast. So we're gonna talk about that later. But he's 193. Jumping 90. This guy is short, but he really wins aerial balls. This is my new training anyways. He was jumping 93, and now I'm gonna take a chance with jumping 90 because his numbers are better this way. Much better. Son, I took a lot of technique from him in order to give him that 90 in jumping, and now he's one of my most important players. He really dominates that left side, and he turned my left side from a war into an almost 60-70% won battle. Kimmich, 92 jumping. He wins 70% of his aerial fights because of something I'm going to explain later when I talk about stats. This is the only short player, but he's messy. So 94 tight possession, ball control 95, and balance 96. Okay, man. If you give him the proper pass, he's gonna do the rest. 92 jumping with physical contact 82, super good, and physical contact 90, 99. And the substitutions, well, you know these three guys. This guy is 92 with 90 physical contact. These guys are not that high, and they don't really jump, and that's why I have them in as replacements. The thing is, I think it's better to have AMFs with better finishing than Kimmich and with better kicking power. And the only way I have to do that right now is by sacrificing defense and aerial capabilities. And I don't like to accept it, but Kimmich, he has been saving me for a long time now. He's not that good at shooting, but he really gives a hand when it comes to defense. So yeah, I'm gonna try to change him. But you know, some players have devils like Gullit, and he's like a ridiculous ambidextrous AMF. So that's the kind of thing I would like to have. But okay, so these guys are the short guys. This guy, 99 jumping. This guy, 90 jumping. This guy, 92 jumping. This guy, 95 jumping. I mean, I really recommend this Vardiol. Again, we're going to talk about this later. But this guy, I really like him. The only problem with this guy, he has only 84 stamina. And I would like for him to have at least 88. But that's why he is a substitute. All right, so now we talked about the hate, okay, so positioning, substitutions. Now we're gonna start talking SUBTACTIC. SUBTACTIC is a complicated matter. Oh no, wait, not yet with the SUBTACTIC. We're gonna talk about first function. Where is in match roles? You need to have a captain, someone with captaincy. So in this case, it's Costa Curta. He is probably the only player I will never change. He's always going to be there. So I think he is the perfect captain. Long free kick taker. I think you should have a guy like either Kimmich or I mean not Kimmich, like the AMF or the DMF. because these guys are going to kick the ball and they're going to more or less keep their position. But let's say you have to kick the ball from this side and Messi is assigned the long free kick taker. He's going to switch his place, he's going to go to this place, he's going to take the shot, and this side is going to be fucked. The same goes with these positions. You need these guys, they are very tall, to be there to fight in the air or get the ball and kick to goal. And these guys are not good at shooting, so they should not be doing that. They should be passing the ball. So long free kick taker is good to have one of these two positions. Now, short free kick taker, that's another thing. In my case, it's going to be always Messi. Short free kick taker. Well, this is my main team, right? Why is this thing like this, man? What the fudge? Okay, I'm gonna change it right now. So it's Costa Curta, Davids, short free kick taker, man. It's Messi. What the fuck's your what the fuck is your problem? Free kick taker 2. I think it's good to have the AMF. So you know, in order not to disarrange the team, it will be it's a bad idea to even to bring defenders, because they should be defending. We're gonna talk about that right now. Okay, so Kimmich as a second free kick taker. The corner kick. Oh, I'm really doing. Oh, this is bullshit. Okay, so no, you are going to do that. Why? Because it's better for Davids to be getting the ball because he jumps. Messi, he's not going to be jumping, so in the end, you're gonna have to either move and get the ball with a short pass, which is good, but also complicated. And my team is made for aerial fighting, so you should take just little short passes through the ground and concentrate on lofted balls. So left free kick taker is going to be Messi, and the right also is going to be Messi. No, I don't think I don't really care about that, because I'm not trying to center the ball for a heading to goal. I'm trying to center the ball for the forwards to get the aerial ball with a pass. You just pass the ball and the defense is going to end up completely broken, and you get lots of goals like that. If you watched some of my games or stuff like that, you're gonna have like examples. Every time I play, I kind of give examples so when I get one of those very important aerial balls. So that thing, and penalty kick taker is going to be either Safi or Messi. I prefer Safi because of the special order I give that guy. So we're going to talk about that right now. So those were the roles. They are not that important, but if you don't assign the roles, the system is going to, the AI is going to assign the roles, and you might end up having a short free kick with Davids, and then you get a counter attack, and then Davids is not defending, and you're gonna have a huge problem. So remember that. Oh, another thing, and this is going to be the same for special instructions. When you switch a player during the second half, or even if you switch a player once the match is, if you substitute a player, you switch him, the roles are going to be reassigned. The same with special instructions. So if I switch Messi right now, all these instructions are going to be the way you saw them, because at some point I switched Messi because for sure I was showing something, and the system reassigned the numbers, the roles to Davids because he has very good numbers. So remember that. Now, tactics, individual instructions. Individual instructions, I think they also changed my gameplay a lot, they gave me so much more strength when it comes to defense. And they gave me the tool I needed in order to be able to do my substitutions with no problem. And I think substitutions is the last thing we're gonna talk during this video, because we are already at 50. Okay, we have to push it a little bit. Okay, so individual instructions. In my opinion, even if those defensive players are offensive fullbacks, I assign the defensive instruction. I want these guys defending. I don't give a rat's ass a fucking shit if they are offensive fullbacks. I'm going to put defensive Davis, defensive Costa Curta. I'm going to give deep line to Davids. I don't want this guy to move a lot. He's going to go forward, but he is going to respect the deep line. So that's another very important instruction for your DMF. And then counter target. Counter target is a very, very important instruction, because I assign this instruction to Safi Salih, or the guy who has the best arrow during the match. It's very difficult for me to switch Salih, but it might happen. The guy obtaining this instruction, he's going to stop running when it comes to defense. So he gets the ball when we are attacking, he runs, he goes for the holes, he tries to go to goal, good. But when the opponent gets the ball, this guy just, he looks from afar, saving his strength. So he's going to, this guy, in this case Salih, is going to have almost the full bar until the end of the match. Those are the instructions. You might do things like, for example, you want one of your offensive fullbacks to be more offensive, and you might give 2 instructions to just one player. For example, a defensive deep line Davids. So he's going to be like a super mega defensive player. I don't like that, because I want this guy, and this guy to stay there. That's why I give this guy all defensive abilities, because I want him to be good at defense, and also I want you to defend, motherfucker. And this guy is super fast, so if he goes a little bit to the front, he's gonna be able to go back very quickly. Okay, so because this guy has all his stamina until the end of the match, I'm gonna be able to use my 5 substitutions to replace all these 5 guys: Messi, Kimmich, Son, Nunez, and Davids. This way, I'm gonna be able to have a completely fresh midfield and front. This guy has 95 stamina, this guy has 100, this guy has 90, this guy has 90. These 2 guys do not run that much, so they will end up the match with some stamina. And these guys are going to last for the entire match with quite a lot of stamina. They're going to end up fine. That's why I don't replace the defense. And you need to understand, if your opponent replaces the defense, his forwards are going to be tired, and they are going to start losing ground against your defenders. If your opponent switches his forwards, they're gonna have certain advantage against your defenders, but my defenders are not going to be that tired, and his defenders then are going to be super tired, and my forwards jumping with 99 are going to eat the opponent's defense alive. So remember, that's a very good tip. Now, another thing to remember, players prefer to put Van Dijk with 78 stamina here and 95, 96 tackling, for example, aggression. No, not aggression, but tackling and defensive awareness or defensive engagement. By the end of the first half, Van Dijk is going to be shit, useless. And they will be in the need of switching him. So if they don't switch him, you eat him alive. If they switch him, they lose offense, and you're going to be fine. Of course, some players have like all epic team with 100 or 95 stamina in every player, so yeah, then you will have to be just better. You will be in the need of being good, very good. So that's the reason for the last instruction that was for this guy. And the other thing is that, and I have 4 minutes to explain this final concept. When you are reaching the end of the match, and if you are winning, it's always going to be, even if you are you're tying the game, the game is tied, you want to be desiring to waste time. Now, you could do that by start passing the ball with the defenders, which is a very lame and really embarrassing way of playing. And sometimes, luckily, the AI punishes you for that, and your players start controlling the ball improperly, or they start like stumbling, and you end up losing a match because you are a chicken piece of shit, a disgusting rat boy. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, if you need to win the game and you want to win it in whatever way, it's fine. Sometimes I might go to those dark zones, but it is better and it has more dignity to do the same, but while passing the ball properly with very good lofted passes and 1-2 passes from the midfield to the front. And you can do that. You can just aim for one cross, then another cross, and it seems like you are wasting time, but suddenly you see the space, and then you go for the goal, and you waste a lot of time, but during playing the game for real, playing like a real, like a decent person, because this is not real war and it's not a real match. And even in a real match, you will be able to pressure properly. It's very difficult to break the shitty passing game in defense, and even disgusting stuff like kicking the ball up with the player and head it to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper getting the ball, grabbing the ball with the hands just because you gave the ball to the guy with the head. That's really, really annoying. It's sad and annoying. But okay, so you are going to be able to pass the ball better, you're going to be able to play better in the front, you're going to be able to waste some time, hold the ball, resist, and it's going to be more entertaining. And in the end, you're going to end up being insulted less, because if you do the shitty passing in the back, you're going to be cursed like a million times. Didn't happen to me anyways. I was cursed, but just because sometimes I play with, I'm thinking, little boys, not little boys, I'm sorry, like little kids. They might be chicks. But I play with very young people, and they kind of lose a game, or they feel too pressured. Even by winning, sometimes I lost a match, but like a really, what's the word? It was a very complicated match with both parties giving their all, and they start insulting me. I won, you fucking chicken motherfucker. I was just distracted. I could have scored 1 million goals. You goddamn son bitch. And yeah, and it's kind of entertaining. But okay, so those were basically all the things I wanted to say during the first video. If you have something to say, opinions, send them to the message section. I hope you enjoy this thing. It's over right now, and I see you in the next video.